January 9th, 2026, 10:23 a.m. Persian Gulf. Two U.S. Navy Mark VI patrol boats conduct routine surveillance in international waters, 28 miles from Iranian coast. Standard patrol, standard operations. The 8 Navy SEALs manning the boats have done this hundreds of times. Monitor shipping, observe Iranian naval activity, maintain American presence in one of the world's most contested waterways. Then 5 Iranian Revolutionary Guard attack boats appear on radar, moving fast, closing distance, and in 90 seconds, unguided rockets will streak across the water, miss the American boats by 30 yards, and trigger a 15-minute sea battle that proves what everyone suspected but nobody could confirm: that Iran doesn't just harass American vessels, it attacks them without provocation, without warning, without justification. But this isn't a story about a sea battle. It's about the video footage that captured everything, and why that footage changes the entire narrative about who's the aggressor in the Persian Gulf. The numbers seem simple: 2 American patrol boats against 5 Iranian attack boats, 8 SEALs against approximately 25 Iranian Revolutionary Guard sailors, 50 caliber machine guns and M240s against unguided rocket launchers and smaller weapons. The Americans had firepower, the Iranians had numbers and speed. But what those 15 minutes prove isn't about who won the fight. It's about who started it, and why the world needed to see exactly how it began. The Mark VI patrol boats are designed for exactly this mission: 85 feet long, capable of 45 knots, armed with 50 caliber machine guns, M240 machine guns, and grenade launchers, crewed by Navy SEALs who know these waters, who know Iranian tactics, who know that every patrol could become a confrontation. But confrontations usually mean aggressive maneuvering, radio challenges, close approaches, harassment, not rockets. Lieutenant Commander Ryan Walsh commanded Patrol Boat 1, 8 years Navy, 4 years SEALs. This was his 43rd patrol in Persian Gulf. He'd been harassed by Iranian boats dozens of times. Close passes, spotlights, radio provocations. Once, an Iranian boat had crossed his bow at 50 yards. Dangerous but not deadly. Aggressive but not combat. This patrol felt routine until the radar operator called out 5 contacts. Fast attack boats. Iranian configuration. Distance 12 miles. Closing speed 40 knots. Walsh keyed his radio. Patrol 2. This is Patrol 1. I have 5 contacts bearing 280, range 12 miles, speed 40 knots. Iranian FACs. Maintain formation. Stay alert. Patrol boat. 2 acknowledged. Lieutenant Sarah Chen commanded it. She'd been watching the same radar contacts. 5 boats in formation. Not random fishing vessels. Not civilian traffic. Military formation. Coordinated approach. But that wasn't unusual. Iranian Revolutionary Guard frequently shadowed American patrols, demonstrated presence, showed they were watching. Sometimes it was posturing, sometimes harassment, almost never actual combat. At 10:28 a.m., the Iranian boats were 6 miles away. Still closing. Walsh tried radio contact. Iranian vessels, this is U.S. Navy patrol. You are approaching coalition vessels in international waters. State your intentions. No response. The Iranian boats kept coming. 5 miles. 4 miles. Standard harassment pattern. They'd close to a mile or so, circle the American boats, maybe make aggressive maneuvers, then leave. Walsh had seen it before. Annoying, but manageable. His crew maintained weapons stations, ready but not alarmed. This was Persian Gulf routine. Dangerous routine, but routine. At 10:31 a.m., the Iranian boats were 2 miles away. They spread into attack formation, not harassment formation. Attack formation, Walsh's radar operator called it. Sir, hostile formation. They're positioning for engagement. Walsh's instincts triggered. This wasn't harassment. He keyed radio to both boats. All stations, weapons hot. Prepare for hostile action. Do not fire unless fired upon. ROE applies. Stay sharp. The SEALs manning the weapons stations chambered rounds, aimed at the approaching Iranian boats. Waiting. Rules of engagement were clear. Don't fire first, but if fired upon, respond with overwhelming force. The Iranian boats were now 1 mile away, close enough to see details. Armed men on deck, weapons visible, and something else. Rocket launchers, unguided rockets. Iranian Revolutionary Guard standard equipment. Inaccurate but dangerous. Used for intimidation, for area suppression, for creating chaos. At 10:33 a.m., without warning, without radio challenge, without provocation, the lead Iranian boat fired rockets. 3 unguided rockets launched from crude launcher, streaking toward the American patrol boats. The trajectory was wrong. The aim was poor. The rockets passed over patrol boat 1, splashed into the water 30 yards beyond. Close enough to be deadly if they'd hit. Close enough to be unmistakable attack. Close enough to change everything. Stay with me, because what happens in the next 60 seconds determines whether this becomes international incident or act of war. And what the video footage captures will prove who's telling the truth. Walsh had 1 second to process. Iranian boats fired rockets at American vessels in international waters without provocation. This wasn't harassment. This was combat. Rules of engagement authorized response, authorized overwhelming response, authorized destroying the threat. All weapons engage, engage, engage. The .50 caliber machine guns opened fire. The sound was devastating. Each boat had multiple .50 cals, each firing at 850 rounds per minute. The M240 machine guns joined. Lighter but faster rate of fire. The combined firepower was overwhelming. Tracer rounds streaked across the water, converging on the lead Iranian boat. The Iranian boat tried to evade, turned hard. Too late. The .50 caliber rounds walked across the hull, punched through fiberglass, hit the engine. The boat slowed, dead in the water, smoke billowing. The crew scrambled. Some jumped overboard, others raised hands, surrendering. Too late for that. They'd fired first, started combat, forfeited mercy. The second Iranian boat fired more rockets, wild shots, panic shots, not aimed, just launched, creating chaos. The rockets went wide, nowhere near American boats, but the intent was clear. This was coordinated attack, multiple boats, multiple launches, planned assault, not accident, not miscommunication, deliberate attack on American forces. Chen's patrol boat 2 engaged the second Iranian boat. Her gunners had clear shot. The .50 cal hammered, 30 rounds in 3 seconds. The Iranian boat's fuel tank erupted. Fireball, black smoke. The boat was burning. Crew diving into water, abandoning vessel. 2 Iranian boats down, 3 remaining, and they were turning, running, fleeing toward Iranian territorial waters 28 miles away. Walsh made instant decision. Pursue or let them escape. Rules of engagement allowed pursuit in international waters. The Iranian boats had attacked, were fleeing, could be engaged until they reached territorial waters. But pursuit meant extended combat, meant potential escalation. meant risk of being drawn into Iranian waters, meant possible trap. He chose pursuit. Patrol 2. Pursue hostiles. Maintain international waters. Do not cross 12-mile line. Engage as long as they're in international space. Break off at territorial limit. Both patrol boats accelerated. Mark 6 boats at full speed, 45 knots. The Iranian boats were faster, smaller, lighter, could make 50 knots. But they were fleeing, not fighting, running scared. The Americans chased, firing controlled bursts, not to kill necessarily, to intimidate, to show that attacking America has consequences, that you don't fire rockets and just sail away. The chase lasted 8 minutes. High-speed pursuit across calm Gulf waters. The American boats maintained fire, hitting one more Iranian boat. Not fatal hits, but damaging, slowing it. The other 2 Iranian boats escaped, crossed into territorial waters, safe from pursuit. The damaged boat limped after them, barely moving, but making it, crossing the line, escaping. Walsh ordered ceasefire. All stations, check fire. Hostiles are in territorial waters. Break off pursuit. RTB, document everything. The patrol boats turned back toward the 2 destroyed Iranian boats. The crews were in the water, some dead, some wounded, some swimming. Walsh had decision: rescue them or leave them. International law required rescuing sailors in distress, even enemy sailors, even sailors who just fired rockets at you. Walsh followed the law. Prepare to recover survivors. Treat them as combatants. Secure them. Medical attention for wounded. Document everything. Every action. Every word. Everything. The SEALs pulled 11 Iranian sailors from the water. 5 dead. 6 wounded or shocked but alive. The survivors were secured, zip-tied, treated for injuries, given water, treated humanely despite having just tried to kill Americans. That's the difference. That's what the video would show. Americans follow laws, show mercy, treat enemies with dignity, even after being attacked. At 10:48 a.m., 15 minutes after the first rockets launched, the engagement was over. 2 Iranian boats destroyed, 1 damaged, 2 escaped. 11 Iranian sailors captured, 5 dead, 0 American casualties, 0 American damage. Complete tactical victory. But the real victory wasn't tactical. It was evidential. Every second of the engagement was recorded. Multiple cameras on both patrol boats. Automatic recording systems, tracking everything. The video showed Iranian boats approaching, showed them in attack formation, showed rockets launching first, showed American boats returning fire only after being attacked, showed proportional response, showed Americans breaking off pursuit at territorial waters, showed Americans rescuing enemy sailors, showed everything. The video was uploaded to secure servers immediately, transmitted to 5th Fleet headquarters, to Pentagon, to State Department, to intelligence agencies. Within 2 hours, senior officials were watching, seeing proof, undeniable proof, that Iran attacked first, without provocation, without warning, in international waters, against vessels conducting legal operations. The Iranian propaganda response was immediate. Within 4 hours, Iranian state media reported that American vessels had provoked Revolutionary Guard boats, that Americans fired first, that Iran defended itself, that American aggression in Persian Gulf endangered peace. The standard narrative, the usual lies. But this time, there was video. This time, there was proof. This time, the lies wouldn't work. At 3 p.m., 6 hours after the engagement, the Pentagon released edited footage, 30 seconds, showing Iranian boats approaching, showing rockets launching, showing American response, showing Iranian boats fleeing. No commentary, no narration, just video, time-stamped, geo-located, authenticated, undeniable. The international response was immediate. Condemnation of Iran, support for American forces, recognition that Iran had initiated unprovoked attack. Even nations usually sympathetic to Iran couldn't defend this. The video was too clear, the evidence too strong. Iran had attacked, Iran had lied, Iran had been exposed. But here's what nobody understood until the captured Iranian sailors talked. Here's what the video couldn't show. Here's what those 15 minutes really meant. Not just about this attack, but about what Iran's been doing for years, and why nobody could prove it until now. The interrogations happened on American ships. Professional, legal, humane. The captured Iranians were treated well. Medical care, food, water, respect. Some talked, explained, revealed. This wasn't rogue attack. This was orders from Revolutionary Guard Command. Standing orders. Harass American vessels. If opportunity arises, if you can claim self-defense, attack, fire weapons, create incident, then blame Americans. Standard tactics. Practiced, rehearsed, executed dozens of times, but never captured on video. Never proven. Until January 9th, the Iranian sailors explained the strategy. Approach American vessels. Make them nervous. Make them react. If they maneuver aggressively, if they point weapons, if they radio warnings, claim that as provocation. Claim self-defense, fire weapons, create incident, then flee. Report American aggression. Create international controversy. Make America look like aggressor in Persian Gulf. Shift narrative. Control story. It had worked before. Multiple times. Iranian boats would approach. Americans would respond defensively. Iranians would claim aggression. File complaints. Create diplomatic incidents. Without video proof. Without evidence. It became he said, she said. International community couldn't determine truth. Both sides claimed righteousness. Both sides claimed defense. Nobody could prove who started it. Until January 9th. Until Walsh's patrol boats had comprehensive video recording. Until every second was documented. Until proof existed. Undeniable. Unquestionable. Iran attacked first. America responded. Iran fled. Iran lied. America proved truth. That's the real story of January 9th. Not the 15-minute battle. Not the 2 destroyed boats. Not even the tactical victory. But the evidential victory. The proof that Iran's been doing this for years. That harassment isn't just harassment. That provocations aren't accidents. That attacks are planned, ordered, executed, and covered up with lies. Until video proof made lies impossible. The 6 captured Iranian sailors were returned to Iran through diplomatic channels, treated well throughout, given medical care, documented, released. Iran claimed they were victims of American aggression. Despite video evidence, despite their own statements, despite everything, the propaganda continued. But nobody believed it anymore. The video had shattered the narrative. The 5 dead Iranian sailors were also returned. With honor, with respect. America doesn't celebrate enemy deaths, doesn't parade bodies, returns them to families. With dignity, even though they'd attacked, even though they'd tried to kill. That's the difference. That's what the video shows. That even in combat, even after being attacked, America maintains standards, follows laws, shows humanity. Walsh received Bronze Star for his leadership. Chen received Navy Commendation Medal. The SEAL crews received unit citations. Everyone was recognized, not for killing enemies, but for documenting truth, for following procedures, for proving Iran's aggression, for changing the narrative, for showing the world what really happens in Persian Gulf. But Walsh doesn't talk about the medals. When asked about January 9th, he talks about the 30 yards. The 30 yards between where the rockets landed and where his boat was. 30 yards between routine patrol and American casualties. 30 yards between international incident and act of war. 30 yards that could have changed everything. Those 30 yards were luck. Iranian rockets are notoriously inaccurate, unguided, crude. If they'd been 30 yards more accurate, if they'd hit, if Americans had died, January 9th would have been very different. Would have been casualties, would have been retaliation, would have been escalation, would have been crisis. But luck and Iranian incompetence saved that. Turned attack into evidence, turned aggression into proof, turned violence into documentation. The Persian Gulf hasn't changed. Iranian boats still harass American vessels, still approach aggressively, still create incidents. But now, Americans know. Now there's proof. Now the tactics are exposed. Now the lies don't work. January 9th ended Iran's ability to claim American provocation, ended the he said, she said, ended the diplomatic ambiguity. Video doesn't lie. Evidence doesn't deceive. Truth prevails when documented. That's the legacy of 15 minutes. Not the destroyed boats, not the captured sailors, not the tactical victory, but the evidential revolution. The proof that changes everything. The documentation that exposes lies. The video that rewrites narrative. From both sides claim defense to Iran attacked first. From ambiguity to clarity. From controversy to fact. Walsh still patrols Persian Gulf. Still commands Mark 6 boats. Still encounters Iranian vessels. But now every camera is recording. Every sensor is active. Every second is documented. Because January 9th taught that truth matters, that evidence prevails, that video proof defeats propaganda, that documentation protects not just lives, but narrative, not just boats, but reputation, not just sailors, but national interest. The 2 destroyed Iranian boats still lie on the Gulf floor, wrecks, monuments to Iranian aggression and American response. The Iranian sailors who escaped still serve, still harass, still approach American vessels, but more carefully now, more cautiously, knowing that attack brings response, that aggression brings consequences, that firing rockets at Americans means destroyed boats and international condemnation. That's deterrence. That's what 15 minutes accomplished. Not through killing, not through destruction, but through documentation, through proof, through evidence that changes calculations, makes Iranian commanders think twice, makes aggressive sailors hesitate, makes attack seem less appealing when the world will see who started it, when truth is recorded and broadcast and undeniable. The international maritime community studied January 9th, analyzed the engagement, concluded that American forces acted in self-defense, that Iranian forces initiated unprovoked attack, that American response was proportional and legal, that pursuit was justified, that rescue of enemy sailors demonstrated American values, that everything about American conduct was exemplary, And everything about Iranian conduct was aggressive, illegal, and then dishonestly reported. That assessment matters. It's not just American perspective. It's international conclusion, based on evidence, based on video, based on undeniable documentation. Iran attacked. America defended. Iran lied. America proved truth. That's the record. That's the history. That's what January 9th means. The 15-minute battle changed Persian Gulf dynamics, changed how Iran approaches American vessels, changed how international community views incidents, changed the narrative from ambiguous to clear, changed the calculation from he said, she said to video shows truth, changed everything by documenting everything. That's modern warfare. Not just bullets and boats, but cameras and evidence. Not just fighting and winning, but recording and proving. Not just destroying enemies, but exposing lies. Not just tactical victory, but strategic documentation. Not, but permanent proof that changes how the world sees who's aggressive and who's defensive in Persian Gulf waters. Walsh knows this. Chen knows this. Every SEAL who served on those boats knows this. They didn't just win a battle. They proved a truth. They exposed a tactic. They documented an aggression. They changed a narrative. In 15 minutes, with 50 caliber fire and comprehensive video recording, that's their real accomplishment. That's what January 9th represents. Not the destroyed boats, but the destroyed lies. Not the captured sailors, but the captured truth. Not the 15-minute battle, but the permanent evidence that rewrites the entire story of who's the aggressor in the Persian Gulf. And that truth, that evidence, that video, it shows Iran fired first, without warning, without provocation, at American vessels conducting legal operations in international waters, then lied about it, then got caught, then got condemned, then learned that attacking America has consequences, not just tactical, but evidential, not just destroyed boats, but destroyed credibility,